Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. So happy to have you here with us still. Baroness Benjamin has been conferred with the UWI Honorary degree. I mean, one of her many accolades. And this morning she joins us via Zoom to chat a little bit about what that means to her and a little bit about her career as well. Good morning to you, Baroness.
Good morning. It's lovely to hear that sweet Trini accent.
And it's lovely to have you on. Let me first of all say congratulations on yet another accolade added to your name. Tell me, what does this honorary doctorate from the University of the West Indies mean to you, and how has it impacted your life and career?
Well, as you said, I've received many, many accolades, honorary degrees, BAFTAs, things for my profession. But to receive an honorary degree from the University of the West Indies is like the icing on the cake. It means that I am being honored by my homeland, Trinidad and Tobago. It means that I am being recognized, even though I am working far away, understanding that the things I do here in Britain is being able to have empathy and all-embracing with my islanders in the sun. And I'm really, really thrilled. And everything I've done here in Britain is to make people understand the importance of the Caribbean, because I feel proud Caribbean woman, proud of my African roots, proud of who I am, proud to tell people, recognize us, because I grew up at a time when we didn't talk about ourselves as proud people from Africa. We didn't talk about ourselves as survivors of Caribbean heritage. We didn't talk about that. Now we are. And for people in the Caribbean recognizing me this way, I feel truly, truly honored and truly blessed.
Oh, wow, definitely. Baroness Benjamin, thank you again for joining us. So, quick question for you. The University of the West Indies has a strong commitment to education and social change in the Caribbean. How do you see your work aligning with the university's mission, and what role do you think particularly education plays in driving positive change in our region?
My mum used to say, education is your passport to life. You go to school and you learn, because once you have an education, no one can take it away from you. And she was so right. All her 6 children have used that education that we've given, that special gift of education, and used it in the right way. And what I have done through my work, especially my book Coming to England, I talked about what it's like to be Trinidadian. I've talked about what it's like to come from a different culture, and how you, how you make your life, how you progress through life, no matter what adversity you have to face. And I wrote that book 30 years ago. It's now in every single school on the national curriculum here in Britain. And 2 years ago, I wrote a picture book version of it called Coming to England for 4 to 7-year-olds, because I think childhood lasts a lifetime. And if we can get children from a very, very young age to show them that everything they're learning, everything they're absorbing will stay with them, it's important, especially diversity and inclusion. And these 4-year-olds, 7-year-olds are writing to me every day. Even yesterday, I got a pile of letters, sort of children telling me that they're reading the book. They know where Trinidad is. When I came to England, they didn't know where Trinidad is. Yep. They didn't know where Trinidad is. What are you doing here? Go back to where you come from. Now they know where Trinidad is. They want to be Trinidadian. They know all about the Windrush story of people leaving the Caribbean, coming to Britain after the war, trying to make a life for themselves, coming to rebuild Britain, being told you're British. No, they didn't understand that when I came back in 1960. Now they do. And these little children, they're naming their class after me, their school after me, their house after me, and they're saying, Floella, when I grow up, I want to be you. I want to be you. And they're white children. That's the difference. Because we have to do this together. If we don't work together, we cannot make change. And I am getting the whole of Britain, because all the schools, you imagine every school, and we've got thousands of schools, are reading Coming to England, knowing about Trinidad, feeling proud. They say, I want to be a Trinidadian. Yeah. That's what education is all about. Education is your passport to life. And if we can get people from that very young age to understand the importance of education, we are going to get a better society. And that's what my mission is like. My mission in life is to get the people of the West Indies to celebrate people like myself here in Britain and all over the country who have made incredible sacrifices. All my brothers and sisters, we've been successful. My brother Ellington, it's his birthday today. He's a quantity surveyor and he's built buildings and flats and houses here in this country. My brother Junior, he's a computer analyst, and he was responsible, part of the team that's responsible to progress the barcode to make it into self-checkout that we use in supermarkets. My mom said to him, I bring a child in this world to put people out to work. We're all making our marks. My sister, she's a financier. She's telling companies how to make money, how to make their companies successful. We've all done incredible things, all 6 of us, because we listened to my mother. Education. And that's what I keep on doing and intend to keep on doing, to get all people to celebrate each other in a way that we can move forward. And because at the moment, I don't think people in the Caribbean fully understand what some of the adversity, some of the insults, some of the difficult life that we had to put up with as a child, leaving the Caribbean. I didn't ask to leave the Caribbean. I was told I was leaving by my parents. Yeah. And when you came here, how you were treated, it's just unbelievable. And we're not given that sense of it all embracing and understanding our history. I was in charge of putting up the National Windrush Monument at Waterloo Station.
Yeah.
Just a few feet away of when I arrived in England, a 12-foot high monument. The Prime Minister gave me £1 million and said, Floella, put up a monument to celebrate the contribution Caribbean people have made to Britain. I want the West Indies to celebrate that too, to celebrate the Windrush journey. And I hope all your listeners and your viewers will actually understand and find out a little bit more about our Windrush story.
Well, I wanted to actually get into a little bit of the Windrush story because I wanted to know what the response was from the diaspora there in England when that monument went up.
People wept. People cried. Grown men. Because you see, when we came to England, we were so busy getting on with life, trying to survive, that we didn't tell our stories. And if you did say what was happening, people would say, oh, shut up. You got a chip on your shoulder. What are you talking about? And it's only now that we're allowed to speak out. It's only now. This last month, October, was Black History Month here in Britain. And I was asked by hundreds of companies. I spoke to thousands of people about our story, about being taken from Africa, being shackled, being beaten, being branded on the chest when you got to the Caribbean, being hung, drawn, and quartered if you spoke out about it. I'm now telling that story, and the monument allows people to tell their stories, to talk about the trauma, being left behind. I was one of the left behind children in the Caribbean, and boy, was I treated badly. And my brothers were treated even worse. We're talking about this story finally, and that's what the monument is doing. Children are going to Waterloo Station and staring up at this 12-foot high monument, which was created by a Jamaican sculptor. I was determined to get somebody from the Caribbean to create this monument. And it's up. If ever you come to Britain, go to Waterloo Station and watch it and see it, because it's our history. And it's going to be there long after I've died, long after I've gone. I have created something for the future to make sure that people understand that Caribbean people are survivors and people who can do anything if we're given the opportunity.
Baroness, I have to ask, during all of the trials that you went through, all of the times as a child, I know you said your mom said to hold on to education, but what is it that motivated you to even begin to say, I am going to change the way people see the Caribbean. I'm going to change the way that people view persons from the Caribbean, people who look like me, and I want to make the Caribbean proud. What motivates you to keep doing that?
Well, My mother, of course, because my mother poured love into me, and every child needs to know that they're loved. My father opened our minds to the world, but my mother showed us how to capture the world. And every day she used to tell us how much she loved us. She loved us. She loved us. But when I came to Britain, that love at the time, I came to Britain when I was 10. And for the first 4 years of my life in Britain, that love wasn't quite enough because the hatred that I had to endure, people spitting at me, grown men lifting my skirt up and saying, "Where's your tail, monkey?" People trying to pee on you, all the things that happened kind of made me angry and frustrated. And I used to use my fists to show them they will not get the better of me. I had this incredible power through my body because of my fighting and my fist. And then one day, I had my first spiritual moment. I was going shopping, and I know when I went to the shops, I wouldn't get served because that's what used to happen. You wouldn't get served. And I knew I'd have to face some sort of adversity. Someone was going to insult me. People thought they had the right to insult you, even though you were a child. And sure enough, on my way shopping that day, a boy about the same age as me, about 14, as soon as he saw me, he started with it. Because people thought they had the right to do that. And I'm fighting him because I never lost a fight. I had that true Trini blood. You don't lose a fight. You keep on fighting. And then suddenly, I heard a voice. And the voice said, "Floella, Floella, what are you doing?" Because of this boy's prejudices, his ignorance, his stupidity, you're going to get yourself into trouble. You know who you are. You know your mommy and your daddy loves you. Start loving yourself the same way. You can't change the color of your skin. And if he has a problem with the color of your skin, it's his problem, not yours. Start loving who you are, Floella. Start showing the world who you are, Floella. And that's the day I stopped fighting with my fist, started fighting with my brain. That's the day I realized what my mum used to say, education was going to be my passport to life. And that's the day I learned to smile, because winners smile. And I was going to be a winner.
Boy.
Nothing can break me with my smile. And I help other people because of and when you smile, you see, you have this wonderful chemical that flows through your body that gives you the strength to face anything. And that's what I've done. I've knocked down doors. I've broken through barriers by smiling and saying, "Here I am. Ain't no stopping me now. I'm on the move."
Baroness, thank you so much for sharing that. And one can only imagine, of course, how that's impacted your entire life. And this is one of the reasons, of course, why many look up to you. You shared how the children look up to you there in the UK. And many children here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I think all ages, definitely can look to you as a role model. Do you have any words of advice for those, especially, let's say, the younger generation who are up and coming? They want to be able to make those changes. They want to have that fighting spirit, but they don't know where to start.
I think the first thing to do is to believe in yourself. The first thing we must do as a society, as a nation of the world, is to understand that childhood lasts a lifetime. So we've got to show children, not just our own children, love, unconditional love, so that they feel they can face any challenges. Because when you know you're loved, it gives you that certain confidence to move forward. But also to do what I say to everyone that I meet: follow my 3 C's. The first C is C for consideration. To have empathy and understanding for other people, not to be judgmental, but to put yourself in the place of others. How would you feel if you were to do X, Y, or Z? When you have that education, remember the consequences of your actions are going to impact, good or bad. So you've got to choose well. And you're choosing well by having consideration. The second C is C for contentment. To have a happy, contented heart. Not to be jealous, not to be envious, not to be consumed by consumerism. Because so often, globally, we're all consumed by this wanting, needing, doing anything to get what you want. I have been offered so much to further my career, but I have said no. I've never compromised myself. I've always been true to myself, been satisfied with what I have at that given time. My mother used to say, "Don't ever be jealous of what other people have. You don't know what they did to go and get it. You don't be like that. Don't be jealous of them. And the more contented you are and satisfied you are, you see, the more open you are to receive what's right for you. Something's coming, something good. Don't know what, don't know why. Maybe tonight it's coming. Believe, hang on to that. And the third C is C for confidence. The confidence to be a decent human being. The confidence to look in the mirror every day of your life and like the person that's looking back at you. The confidence to be able to understand that everything happens for a reason and that every disappointment is an appointment with something better. Don't be afraid. Hang in there. Give. The more you give and the more you love unconditionally, the more you feel better about yourself. And the more comes back to you when you least expect it. But you're going to need a fourth C. The fourth C to wrap up your three C's, and that's C for courage. To have the moral courage to stand up for truth, the moral courage to speak out like I have done. I've been told, shut up or you'll never work again when I've spoken up for other people. That takes courage to stand up for justice, the moral courage to press the reset button and act with morality, with integrity, with honesty, and to be the person other people can trust. If you start that at a very, very young age, when you get to my age, I'm 74 years old now. I have lived a full life, and I know my wisdom that I have, I need to pass it on to young people so they don't make mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, don't worry about it. Learn from your mistakes. Learn and forgive. Be able to forgive people, because forgiveness frees the soul. Forgiveness, if you can't forgive, you remain a victim. So you've got to understand when you're very young, you're going to have battles, you're going to have troubles, you're going to have to face so much adversity. But don't worry, it's happening for a reason. And one day a door is going to open, and on the other side is going to be the rest of your life. So enjoy everything you do. Make the most of everything you do, and believe in yourself. And show, and if you're confident, and if you can smile, people know that you're confident. And remember this song, smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you just smile.
Baroness Benjamin, thank you so much for blessing us this morning with some of your knowledge. Thank you for blessing us with your talents. Thank you for everything that you've done to contribute to Caribbean story and Caribbean success out there in the UK. We appreciate it more than we can even express through this honorary degree, and so much more that we want to give to you, that we want to say thank you so very much for. So thank you for joining us this morning to share with us as well.
I'm sending virtual hugs to all of you.
And we're taking it and we're sending them right back. So when you next time you come to Trinidad, you have to come and check us on the Now Morning Show so we can have a sit down and chat as well.
That's the date.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that, Baroness. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye-bye.
That is Baroness Benjamin, actress, author, politician, philanthropist, and a leader in her own right, encouraging us to continue to smile, continue to have confidence in yourself, consideration. You need to have a lot more of that. Be content and have the courage to fight injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this.